My name is Holly. I'm a 32-year-old housewife. I have a family of 3, my husband, Bruce, and our 7-year-old daughter, Daisy. My husband is a section manager at a securities firm. I used to be a hairdresser. My parents run a beauty salon, and I had planned to take over the business eventually. But life was going too fast with marriage and childbirth, so I decided to delay taking over the family business for a while. I had no idea that I would find myself in the middle of a daytime soap opera. Please listen to the story of how I left my cheating husband. I met Bruce on a meeting app. From the beginning, I had a good impression of him as a kind and thoughtful person. At first, we only exchanged messages, but as we talked to each other about various matters, we fell in love and ended up getting married. However, there was a problem. From the beginning of our marriage, my husband did not help me with housework at all. I had hoped that this would change at some point, but there was no change at all. Still, I worked hard to support the family, taking care of everything at home while my husband focused on his career. When Daisy was getting to daycare, my husband's work suddenly became very busy, and he was on more business trips, away from home even on weekends. Whenever he came home, he would often say, and go straight to the bedroom. Oh, a day before Daisy's 5th birthday, I told my husband about the plan. Bruce, tomorrow is Daisy's birthday, so let's all go out for dinner. My husband said yes, but he was somewhat preoccupied. Still, it's Daisy's birthday, so I guess it's all right. I made a reservation at a fancy restaurant in the neighborhood. I was a little concerned about whether it would be okay to use it to celebrate a kid's birthday, but they said yes. My daughter and I waited for my husband at the reserved time. The appointed time passed, and no matter how many minutes we waited, he did not show up. I was worried that he might have been in an accident, so I called him.
Hello, where are you?
My husband answered in a slightly angry voice.
Oh, what? I'm middle of an important meeting.
I was a little surprised and complained to him in a grumpy voice. I told you yesterday that today is Daisy's birthday. Then my husband suddenly became angry and said, my current project is more important than Daisy's birthday. What the hell is wrong with you? Don't you understand the importance of my work? With that, my husband hung up the phone.
Daisy, I'm sorry. Daddy's very busy. I'm so sorry.
I apologized to her, and she cheerfully replied, it's okay. It can't be helped with work, can it? After that, we had dinner together, acting cheerful so as not to make my daughter feel uneasy. After that year, my husband never had dinner with my daughter on her birthday. Something was bugging me. Then the decisive event happened. My husband stopped spending Christmas with us because of his work. Daisy had just started the 1st grade, and Christmas was a special event for anyone. My daughter and I both believed that this time, my husband would make it up to us. Long before Christmas, my daughter had asked him directly, Daddy, please come home early on Christmas Day. Promise? My husband was not in the mood but replied, yeah, I'll promise. I had a bad feeling about this. Still, I told myself that this time it would be all right. After all, it is Christmas. On this holy night, miracles can happen. On the day of the event, my daughter grabbed my husband before he left for work. "Daddy, you must come home early today. There's a feast waiting for you." But his answer shocked her.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry. Daddy has a business trip today.
Yeah, what did you say? A business trip?
To our astonishment, my husband replied coldly, "It was suddenly decided last night. Don't you realize the importance of the project I'm working on? I've had enough of this. Anyway, I gotta go." Actually, in predicaments accessed fear in I sent him off in shock. To make matters worse, my daughter developed a fever that night. I called my husband out of concern. I kept calling and calling, but he never picked up the phone. This time I even felt like I was doing something wrong. I called his office instead because I didn't know what else to do.
"Ain't your husband, isn't he taking a day off today due to illness?"
I can feel my head spinning. He said he was on a business trip. I took a few deep breaths in a desperate attempt to get a handle on my stirred-up mind. At initiation, I had a gut feeling Abe does a piece stealing. My husband is having an affair. That night, my daughter's fever was well under control by the time she went to bed. I was relieved she was better. My daughter was sleeping peacefully. I had a glass of wine alone in a daze. Before I knew it, tears were streaming down my face. My husband hurt my beloved daughter repeatedly. I need to be strong for my daughter. I vowed to my daughter who was sleeping innocently. I'll find proof of the affair and get a divorce, and I will be living a happy life with my daughter. I silently decided. My husband didn't stay home for New Year's. I didn't even care. I no longer cried or grieved. Soon after the new year, I hired a private detective to have my husband's background checked. The results were immediate. Exactly what I expected, super guilty. I checked the photos of them going in and out of hotels. Disgusting. They also showed me photos of them eating and talking together and making out in public. I asked them to identify the woman and her social networking sites. It turned out that the woman was a direct subordinate of my husband. Her name is Tess, and she is 27 years old. She seems like a woman who enjoys showing off quite a bit.
She seems like a woman who enjoys showing off quite a bit, and one of the deciding factors was her social media. I discovered my husband on her post on the same day as my daughter's birthday. Christmas and New Year's, June 7th, on a date with my boyfriend. December 24th, staying at the Ritz-Carlton with my boyfriend. December 31st, hoping to be happy with my boyfriend forever. They had been dating for nearly 3 years. I was getting angry at my husband for cheating on me and my daughter. At the same time, my love for my husband plummeted from 0 to negative. For a few months, after I found out that my husband was cheating on me, I kept my cool and made a careful plan for the future. Divorce is a given, but don't think you can get away with it easily. I would suddenly disappear from my husband's life. Let's start with the house. The house we were renting was just up for renewal. I secretly ended the contract and gave my husband no home to return to. Next, we need to find a place to move to, when I told my parents what had happened, they graciously agreed to let me go back to their house. My parents originally wanted me to take over the beauty salon. They were rather happy that I was coming back. Once the decision to move back home was made, it was just a matter of what to do with my belongings. I moved our belongings little by little to my parents' house. While my husband was away, my husband has never been interested in me. He didn't seem to notice that my belongings were gradually decreasing. I also decided to sell the refrigerator and washing machine I bought when we first got married. However, I asked the mover to pick them up on the day we move out because it would have been obvious. On the day of the move, my husband was on a business trip. I guess he was having a good time with his affair partner. He left the house in the morning in a good mood. I sent my daughter off to school, packed up my belongings, and soon after the moving, his truck arrived one by one. The items of furniture were removed from the house, and I received a phone call from my husband.
Then I received a phone call from my husband. I was surprised, so I picked up the phone.
Hello.
It's me. What's going on? There seems to be a lot of noise.
Noise? Oh, I'm out shopping right now. Some construction work going on nearby.
I see. Well, I was supposed to come back tomorrow, but it turned out to be the day after tomorrow. I think...
Great! I thought to myself.
Okay, well, take care.
I cheerfully hung up the phone. Then I hurriedly continued my work. Meanwhile, the movers finished their work. The refrigerator and the washing machine were out of the room. The room is suddenly deserted. After sending off the truck, I put the last of the small amount of stuff in the car. Then I locked the door and left the house. I was a little nervous as I picked up my daughter from school.
Eddie and Mommy can't be together anymore, so I decided to take you to Grandma and Grandpa's house. Your home may be different from today, but we will still be your mom and dad. I love you, Daisy.
At school.
You won't have to change schools. You will still have all your friends.
Oh, well, then it's okay.
That's sweet Tian's foray. I was taken aback by how easily she responded. My husband had always been cold to my daughter. He never played with her even on his days off. On birthdays and Christmas, we found ourselves alone. Was not only not fulfilling his role as a husband, but also as a father. Long before I decided to leave him, I already didn't need him. 2 nights later, my husband called me.
What the hell? What's going on with the house?
Well, I've canceled the contract. We don't need you or the house anymore, but
Where's the fridge and washing machine?
My husband was super upset. I sold them all.
What the heck, oh? Holly...
I told him in a matter-of-fact manner. Anyway, I'll be waiting for you in the conference room tomorrow.
Anyway, I'll be waiting for your conference room tomorrow.
What do you mean?
I've spoken to your boss about all of this. He said he will be happy to talk to you and your affair partner.
What are you talking about?
My husband blurted it out.
I'm sorry, but your boss already knows about your affair.
No, there should be a misunderstanding. You don't trust me. I'm disappointed in you. Come back here right now.
My husband was upset, but I calmly continued.
I can't and I won't. I'll see you tomorrow.
I hung up the phone. The next day, my husband, the woman he'd been having an affair with, and my husband's boss, the head of the department, gathered in the conference room. The atmosphere was really heavy and strange.
Let's start with you first, Bruce.
This is a misunderstanding. Tess and I only have a professional relationship. Said I only have a professional relationship. I'm sure we get along particularly well, but we've never had an inappropriate relationship.
Then what about these pictures?
I confronted him with the pictures. The pictures of them going into the hotel and making out. My husband was startled, but calmly replied,
"Oh, we just happened to be passing through the area. Also, you can manipulate those pictures. It's all fake. You made up this whole affair to humiliate me."
How dare he can make up such a lie?
But then what about this?
I read out loud Tessa's posts from her Instagram.
You look like you are having a good time. Harshly, but you are in the picture, see?
That's not him. That's someone who looks like him. Oh, your husband looks exactly like my boyfriend.
S cut in and answered.
So it's all a coincidence, and you two have absolutely nothing to be ashamed of, is that what you're saying?
I stared at them and they nodded.
Well, I guess I don't have a choice then.
I said, and I saw my husband and Tess smirk at me. I continued.
Now then, since you're here, I'd like to meet your boyfriend. I had to see your boyfriend who looks exactly like my husband. I had to see your boyfriend who looks exactly like my husband. If you can get him to testify, I'll be satisfied as his wife.
How what do you meet?
Tessa's voice trails off.
Hey, you heard me. I'm asking you to get him over here.
I said firmly.
Her boyfriend is out of the country right now, so she can't bring him here.
My husband starts defending her.
Okay, then can you please show me the pictures of your boyfriend in your phone?
I persisted. Tess started scrolling up and down with her cell phone, looking for a picture of a man in a suit with a large upper body. I was watching carefully. And then a few pictures came up, photos of my husband in a suit.
There, so this is your boyfriend, my husband's look-alike.
I asked quietly, and she answered clearly, Edith, you're right.
As can you do a close-up of the necktie in this picture? Larger, bit larger, please. Thank you. Why that necktie? I gave it to my husband a long time ago. Who has his name on it, you see? Are you still going why about it?
I said, suppressing my anger.
Well, oh no, shoot.
My husband's head is down, looking pale.
It said calmly to him and said, please contact this lawyer's office from now on.
I put the business card of the law firm I had consulted beforehand on the desk.
Hey, Sim, what the heck, Ollie?
My husband is stunned.
I'm divorcing you.
What? Divorce? Oh, bad Daisy, she's gonna be in trouble if we divorced.
No, she's not. She's gonna be totally fine. Daisy has already agreed to it, and I'm gonna raise her on my own.
Okay, now we can be together, Bruce.
Though I know it's a little too late for that, but she confessed the truth in her own words.
Astrid, shut up.
My husband yelled at her.
I didn't realize you call each other by your first names at work. I didn't realize you call each other by first names at work.
I told him sarcastically, and my husband insists it's a misunderstanding.
Oda's photo is fake, and even the tie pin was a coincidence.
When my husband said that, Tess looked like she was about to cry.
Why are you in such denial? You said you'd marry me after you left your wife.
No, I didn't say that. You interrupted me.
No, you didn't say that. Explain it.
Don't interrupt me. This is between me and Bruce. If you just left him, none of this would have happened. This relationship has been going on for years. You should have known that, you insensitive bitch.
I was offended by the words she threw at me.
You're a bitch. She even realized that you destroyed someone's family. Yeah, whatever. This is a waste of time. You can have him. It is nothing to me anymore.
The manager finally put a stop to it and said, "Cut it off. Bruce, your wife is the victim here. You've betrayed her many times. You're responsible. The same goes for you, Tess. I will report this to the CEO."
He told them in a firm tone.
This word, Bruce, we can be together now, can't we?
Tess is still saying that.
Jesus, Tess, stop it. We may be losing our job here. We have a strict compliance policy. If they find out it's the end of my career...
My husband was screaming in panic, and his stupid lover had no idea of what was going to come. The two of them kept yelling at each other. The manager and I left the conference room. We were both disgusted. Go ahead and squabble all you want. He said to not long after I visited the office. The divorce became official. In this case, my husband's infidelity was the direct reason for the divorce. Our alimony and child support were to be paid in full. Of course, I was able to get alimony from the cheating partner as well. My husband was removed from his position and resigned because he could no longer work for the company. Tess, the cheating partner, resigned as well. Later, Tess's parents heard about the affair and were furious. Both my husband and Tess are currently looking for a job. I, on the other hand, took over my parents' hair salon, which is now thriving due to the buzz around the new management using social networking sites. In addition to my parents' older customers, updated towards UMAT net number of younger customers has also increased. This my parents love having their granddaughter around. Daisy seems to have no feelings for her father, who was always cold to her. I would like to remodel my parents' house in the near future. I don't think I'll ever forget what my ex-husband did to us. You can't understand the despair of being betrayed by someone you love unless you've experienced it, but I think his betrayal has made me an independent woman. I will work hard for my daughter. We have each other. That's all we need. But from now on, birthdays and Christmas will be fun for the whole family. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel if you like. See you in the next video.